Hello plant community, thanks for tuning into this channel. My name is Pam and today you guys I'm just going to do a couple of chores, some things I've been putting off, and I'm just bringing you guys along. So if you have some planty chores that you need to do, this is a perfect time for you to come along with me and we can do them together. Okay, so I don't have a lot of chores to do outside of possibly checking for watering and things like that, and those things I'll do off camera because I guess, you know, once you water one plant you've watered them all, right? So but I am going to bring you along for some of the things that I've been putting off, and it's just time for me to do it. So I'm just going to dive right in. The first thing that I am going to do is this big baby right here. This right here is my coffee plant that I've had for 3 years now, and I don't think I may have put her in a bigger pot in the very beginning. I'm really not sure, but it's time for her to get a bigger pot. I'm going to take her out of this 6-inch and put her into this 8-inch because I've noticed that this plant is a very thirsty plant. For those of you who have coffee trees or coffee plant, you understand what I mean. But I'm watering it even more so than I remember doing so. And so I'm just going to up pot her while we're in the midst of the growing season so she can have a good start. So let's go see if I can bring you down here a little bit. Have my pot. And I'm not going to... And I have my soil mixture, you guys. Very little in here, but I do have a lot in my, I guess, crawl space, walk-in space. And I'm going to just set this on the floor and go from there. Now, I'm not going to do anything with her roots. Let's see. So yeah, as you can see right here, I lost a lot of the lower leaves. This thing is not really that forgiving with, I guess, watering. It looks dead a little bit, the way that it's wooded. But of course, one quick way to check is to peel away the wood stem, and wherever you see, I don't even know if you can see it. Where you see the green, you know it's still alive. So, and of course you could tell it's still alive because this big bush thing. But yeah, let me try to get it out of the pot without... It's the only thing about these big plants, you want to get it out of the pot without hurting it. And I don't know if these are roots or not. Y'all see that? But yeah, let's see if I can get a good... Yeah, yeah. Big plant, but very fine root system, as you can see. But look at that. It's satisfying to see that because you know it's a very healthy plant. So, because these roots are fine, honestly, you guys, I'm not going to mess with it at all. Just going to push this to the side and let me leave that and just use one of these old Costa Farm pots that I've been keeping. And let's see, normally I would put probably a plastic mesh, one of those mesh things, but the bottom is just too big for that. I think it would defeat the purpose. So I'm going to put a little bit at the bottom here, and I'm just going to sit this baby right on top without, let's see. I think she's actually, yeah, I'm okay with this. Because I want to have that lip. Make sure she's even though in the pot. I feel like she's not even in the pot. So, okay. All right. I'm curious to know, you guys, how often do you repot? I want to take a survey on that. Do you do it every growing season? Do you wait until you actually see roots growing out of the pot? Like, what's your determining factor for when you actually pot? I'm not sure if I would want to do this every year. That seems pretty expensive and pricey, especially if you have a large collection. For me, I honestly I let my plant tell me when it's time to repot, and then sometimes I repot based upon convenience. Right now, this would be a combination of both. The plant is telling me by me having to water it, it seemed like I have to water it like every 3 days at this point, and I don't remember doing that in the beginning. So I'm kind of repotting it to make my life a little easier, because this is a coffee plant, you guys. I have her hanging out in my kitchen, and what I've noticed is because when we cook in there, it is really pulling up a lot of humidity or whatever the case is. I notice when I use the oven more, this plant droops way faster. So especially in the winter time when I have all the windows and things shut, so it's not getting that good air circulation. I don't know if that, I'm not saying that plays a part. Okay, now she looks much better, don't you think? Yeah. So I got that done, and I'm glad I got that done. And I probably will add a little clip in if I'm able to, where I have it at in my kitchen, so you can kind of like see. I already did this pot, and it magically, the brim of this pot kind of like clamps right on top of my plant stand where I keep her at. So it's perfect, and I already have one of those clear drain catchers that you get from the dollar store at the bottom. So it'll make it very convenient. You know, I'll just water her, and she'll drip the water down into the pot and into the drain pot, but it won't even be in contact with this plant at all. So that's pretty cool. And I don't know, even though I know what this plant is, doesn't really tell you what it is. Just pretty much says tropical plant care. I'm just going to stick it back in the pot. Okay, sweetheart, now you're good to go. Now, before I clean this mess up, there is something else I wanted to do that's somewhat related to the soil. And I'm about to show you. Move her over. This baby right here. I don't know if y'all can see. See this? This is my substratum, Philodendron. And I'm going to change the camera angle so you guys can see me a little bit more. So hang tight. Hi guys. So back up at top. Okay, so I have my shears, and you know I always use like a Clorox wipe to sanitize them. I just want to wipe it to make sure. But while I'm doing that, and let this air dry for a minute, if y'all remember this plant, this was my Philodendron substratum. It's just one leaf here because I brought you guys along way back, few months back, in a video where I showed you the entire process of me actually doing the air layering, to cutting the plant, to actually creating a whole new plant. And the reason why I started off doing that was for this reason right here. All the leaves are pretty much had lost right here, and I only had some leaves up at the top. So I cut it right here. And my goal was to actually cut in between these nodes to try to propagate and see if I can get new plants. In the midst of me actually waiting for, I think, my other substratum, the leaves, the cuttings to blossom, and And I think when I did this, it was like in a non-growing season. And I waited too late. And before I knew it, this whole thing started growing. I saw a growing eye. I did not want to cut it. And now a plant emerged. A leaf has emerged. And although this leaf is very beautiful, I do not... Look at... I'm not feeling this at all. So I'm getting rid of it because I already have a new plant starting. And yeah, the reason why I cut it is aesthetically it's not good for me. And at first I was thinking about taking my cuttings and putting it right back in and just use this as a cover. But I honestly, I just don't like this. So I'm going to cut it. And what I'm going to do, since we are in the growing season now, I feel confident and comfortable enough to cut this. So I'm going to cut it into multiple sections. And this will become, I'm actually cutting it here. And for those of you who may question where to cut these sections, this right here is what we would consider the node, which is where roots would actually grow out of. You have them in multiple areas of the stem of the plant, particularly our philodendrons or any, I can't think of the name right now. I'm drawing a brain freeze and I'm sorry about that. But all of your climbing plants, all your aroids, you will see the nodes actually on the stem. So I have multiple ones here, 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 and some down here. And you want to cut in between one node and another, and that's what we would call the internode for those of you guys who may be questioning it. So this is the internode, node, internode, node. Cut in between. So I'm going to cut here. And this piece, you guys, I'm actually going to sit in water. And hopefully these nodes, it'll activate. If not here, then it'll definitely do it here where, you see that spot right there? That's the actual node where this initially branched off at anyway. Because when I made the first cut to do the propagation to get rid of the leaves, I did the first cut right here, as you can see. So I can actually just trim that off a little bit. And I will, like I said, sit this in water and allow it to root, and then I will probably put this into the newly created substratum that I have growing in my sunroom right now. So yeah, I'm gonna put this to the side. Now what am I going to do with this? I'm going to just cut it for now and probably try to put it in one of my prop boxes and just see what happens. I don't want to really throw this whole thing away. Initially I got this, one of my first purchases from Equigenera. Let me cut that. And we came a long way with the growth. So this is one of my plants that just, when I was about to give up on it, it did not give up on me. So anyway, I'll probably just cut that off. And so now I have a total of, just to show you what, 4 sticks that I'm going to probably put in, like I said, either one of them put it in sphagnum moss or something like that. And then this I'm going to stick right into water. And this, before I dump it out, I have pumice in here. You can reuse pumice, you guys. Pumice is a little bit too expensive. So before I dump this soil out, I will sift through it off camera, because it will be tedious, my friend, and save as much pumice as I can, and I'll just get rid of the rest and clean out this pot for another plant for later use. I think what I'm going to do next does not require me to have to use any more soil. So let me clean this mess up and then I'll see you back down on the table. Okay, so we kind of got some things cleaned up here, as you can see. And I wanted to show you guys before I zipped it up. This is some kind of food container that I had. something in, but it was clear. So I just thought it was very good to hold it for like my small propagations. And initially, I think I had propagated some Hoya in here. As you can see, I have like 2 little Peperomia Hope cuttings or leaves in here. So this was very good for my small leaf plants. But I decided to go ahead and put the sububstatum sticks in here. I just sprayed it, and what I do is, because it doesn't have a top, I use a sandwich bag and just put it in the sandwich bag, and it actually, you know, holds condensation. Example of that would be this right here. Like, you see condensation in the bag. And so it works. It's a very affordable, inexpensive way to propagate. Propagate, if that's a thing. I'll just sit that down here. Now, my next thing that I'm going to do is, sometimes I have to walk around my home, you guys, and take a look, in particularly to my more moisture-loving plants, and take a look at the leaves and possibly just cut off all leaves that are not desirable or not forgiving on my watering routine. And Syngoniums fit the bill. So I have my Syngonium. You guys, this thing is, you see all of that? It's just a few leaves on here that has yellowed from me forgetting to water. And even though, one thing I do, even if I know that, okay, Pam, you didn't water this plant in some time and it's crisping up letting you know that, I don't take that idea for granted. So I'm still looking just to check to see if there's any pest. And I advise you to do the same. So yeah, I always check for the pest whenever I cut off dead leaves, because it could be something a little bit more sinister than just not watering plants, right? So I'm just pulling them off, and I'm just going through the plant. It's one of my favorite plants. I don't know if it's one of my favorite, you guys, because it's a gift my husband brought. I'm kind of sentimental when somebody buys me something, makes me something, gives me something, because they didn't have to do it, right? So I'd be appreciating it. This was going to go out anyway. There's no need. Can't unyellow a leaf. And we're in the growing season anyway, so it's definitely a good time to chop. And I'm noticing some new growth all over the place with this baby, so it's very exciting to see. Yeah, this baby has grown tall. I have propagated it several times so far, you guys. And I actually want to show you right here too, because this was the back side really, and I actually propagated and put these cuttings in just to cover up this nakedness. And since I've done that, you guys, it's just exploding with so many. I'm looking right now, I'm seeing so many new growth points. Right here alone, I'm seeing a total of 2, possibly 3. And by me cutting from the top, which is what I did to put this at the bottom, I'm seeing some new growth going along on this side as well. So satisfying. So yeah, that's all I wanted to do with that, is just cut. I take a look at the soil from time to time. And since this is a Syngonium, I try to, you know, feel it. And also, you see this right here? You see the little new growth point right there? So satisfying to see new growth. I have, let's see, my other Syngonium that I need to chop. This, and I don't know what's going on with this. I moved it, you guys, and I'm taking chances actually. And I don't think it liked the move, but there's nothing I can do about it now. So hopefully she will get the idea. Usually Syngoniums are pretty good with adapting, I think, to light. I don't have it in a dark situation, so I really don't know. But yeah, it is what it is, right? Getting rid of all the leaves that may be yellowing. Now, I don't know. This is in a self-watering pot. I thought I could make my life a little easier. Maybe I shouldn't have put her in a self-watering pot. I don't know. I think what I'm going to do, I have her in a self-watering pot, but maybe I need to do what I do with one of my thirsty Hoyas that I have in my self-watering pot, and that's pretty much, you have it in the pot, right? But just because it's a self-watering pot doesn't mean you have to keep it in water all the time. So I think I may have to be selective of when I actually put water in there, and possibly, I'm just thinking, just troubleshooting right here, and possibly I might not have to fill it up as full, if that makes sense. Yeah, this thing is a lot of yellowing leaves. And this thing is leaning too. I kind of used this to kind of hold it together because it was just like leaning on one side, and that looked kind of funky. Oh, but that did look pretty. I'm looking at, what leaf are you? This leaf right here. Oh, oh, it's just it's just so cute. Let's see. Any other leaves? Wait. Okay, you're not so cute. You're gonna wind up crisping. So yeah. Try to remove some of the dead. I used to leave some dry leaves on, and I would be like, forget it, let just nature take its course. But when I realized how much it really can attract pests, it's not me being a stickler about getting rid of all of this dead foliage. It's just getting rid of the dead foliage so that you give the ones that's alive a fighting chance, right? That's what it's all about. You know, living and learning through my plant experiences. Who would have known, boy? I tell you, 20 years ago, if somebody was to tell me, Pam, you was going to have a green thumb, I would have probably laughed at them, boy. I tell you. Because I was terrible with my plants in the beginning, to the point where I just almost like just gave up, honestly, with caring for them. Oh, man. What in the world? I'm going to show y'all what just happened. This thing just snapped. Oh, bananas. Shoot. Look at that. It literally snapped off. I don't even know where. When I was talking to you guys, I probably wasn't even paying attention. I was so engrossed in conversing with you. But it's 2 node points here. So I will put this in water. And when it roots, I'll just plop this baby back in. Yeah, I think she might actually, is there such a thing for a Syngonium to be a little bit too moist? She may be staying a little wet too long, because some of the leaves feel like it's from drying out, and then some of the leaves don't seem that way. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like how it's flopping over. You see how it's just looks so lazy. So I try to, but I don't even know if it's going to work now, but let's see. Try to keep it up or pinned it together because I like it looking full. Oh, wait. With this Velcro things. You know, all plants can't be so picturesque. I do realize that. I allow some plants to go ahead and do the funkiness, but where I have it sitting at, I can't really have this plant leaning, because honestly, I feel like, especially my husband, he's going to wind up just keep walking right into the thing or brushing up against it, and then it'll be okay. Oh, yeah, that don't look too bad, right? It just looks kind of naked here, but I don't care about the bottom too much. I'm not a stickler with this, but now it looks good. And yeah, it's okay. I'm going to push this one to the side. That was a lot of cuttings off of that. I have one more that I want to just clean up a bit. Yeah. And this is my prayer plant. Another plant that is thirsty. I just recently took it out of its nursery pot and potted it up into, you hear that? This glass planter. It is glass on the inside, I try to do that with my moisture-loving plants so that it can hold moisture in a little bit longer, and hopefully I won't have to worry about watering it. And I'm cutting the leaf off right above the node. My goal with that is hopefully it'll activate the node and new growth will come out. But let's take a look. It was just 2 dead leaves. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this, because as you can see, it's starting to yellow and there's no coming back from that. Cut that off. I'm gonna wipe it again. I don't know why. I don't know. Do y'all wipe in between each time you cut a plant from one plant to another? It's probably best that you should do that so that you won't do any cross-contamination, I guess. But in a perfect world, that sounds great. But reality speaking, we just don't be having the time to be doing all that, right? I know I don't. So anyway, but look at this. It's beautiful, right? It has so many new growths. So much, you guys. I'm so tempted. Should I or should I not? I'm tempted to cut this part. Let's see. I think I'm going to do it, you guys. Yeah. Call me crazy. I'm doing it. Yep. No guts, no glory. That's what I say. I'm doing it. I'm cutting it. I'm cutting it. I'm cutting it. Okay. I cut one. I'm tripping. I used to debate. Oh my goodness. I'm already indecisive, you guys. I used to just be so indecisive. Oh my gosh, should I cut this? Oh, should I not cut it? I'd be like, oh, just cut the darn thing, Pam. Jeez, just cut it. I go through all this dramatic changes, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I feel good about doing it. But look, okay, it looks better, don't it? It looked better. It was like something about the plant leaning off to the side. And I like it. And I'm actually going to, I don't know, should I cut you? Just got a little brown. But it's so weird because the color is different. Isn't that weird? You can see all the new leaves with that beautiful dark print. Beautiful plant. All that grew. Yeah, it's going to be full in no time. So, yeah, don't be afraid to snip, snip, snip away. So I'm just going to cut some of the dead stuff off. Now, here's the question of the day, you guys. Gotta ask. What would you do with these? Would you actually propagate these? Or would you say the heck with it? Because every chop, if you think about it, you can't propagate, right? Because then your house is really overwhelmed with plants. And you can't keep giving your friends plants. They're taking them to be nice to you, but in the inside, they can't stand it. And they're not telling you. So what do you do? It's a shame. You don't really, I'm not really going to throw it in the trash. I'm going to go ahead and stick these babies in water. And it's just that this, I don't know. I hate to say, oh God, I feel like I'm discriminating in some way, but I like this plant. The color of the leaves as opposed to this. Is that crazy? We should value the old, right? So but I'm overthinking it too. So I'll just put that here and I'm done with that. And I'll probably just plop it in some water, right? Right. Gotta overthink it. Jeez, Pam. You didn't have to think about it at all about this, so what the heck? So, I'm just going to put this over here, you guys. I am having a hissy fit. What's going on? My last and final thing that I'm going to be doing with you guys, I'm excited, is my Syngonium albo. If y'all remember, I got this plant in the wintertime. I want to say, was it last year? And guys, I've been chopping away. Let me okay. So, if y'all remember her, look at that. Oh my goodness, she's so beautiful. I had it in one stem. Who did I get it from? I think I got her from Gabriella Plants. Did I? Oh gosh, I think I did. But anyway, it came in one stem and I've propagated it already. I chopped her already once before, right there. And you see it's already a little, so I cut here the first time and there the second time. And I put them down here in the bottom. And from that bottom, it's been growing these. And then it activated some more growth. And so I decided to cut some more because it was getting really tall, but I really wanted full down here, and that's what I'm doing. So I did it again, and she's been sitting in water for a while. It took 4 cuttings, I think. Gotta be careful when I take them out because this one right here, I was really iffy to do. But I had to chop it at some point because honestly, you guys, this thing was growing so fast. It seemed like I always would say, okay, I'm going to wait until this leaf opens up and then I'll cut it. But before I knew it, when one leaf opened up, there it was another one. So at some point I had to make an executive decision. Now, let me share something with you guys. Traditionally, I probably would not plant this back up because the roots, it's not at least 2 inches long in comparison to the other ones that I'm about to show you. Like in comparison to this cutting. These 3 cuttings right here are really ready to go in regards to the 2 inches. This cutting and this one. Pretty. But the reason why I'm going to go ahead is because it's multiple roots. It's not as long as the 3 I just showed you, but there are 4 roots coming out of here, and I just feel like that it will be okay. If not, lesson learned for me, and I'll be risking this beautiful leaf right here, but no guts, no glory, and I'm going to go ahead and do just that. So, I have my little bamboo stick. I kind of just stick in the soil, and I'm sticking my plant right in there. I'm trying to make sure I stick it in as I pull the stick out. Make sure it's in there without jeopardizing the leaf. And I'm pretty much trying to cover it. And I kind of just do that around with my others. Just make sure I really create a circular hole. This is so beautiful. Let's see. This one has 2 roots too, so satisfying. I can't remember. I've had the cuttings in the soil, in the water for, say, at least, if I had to guess, at least 4 weeks. And it was kind of like getting, sitting in front of one of my Sansi grow lights. Yeah, she's going to be looking nice. Nice and tight. Let's see, get that right there. And let's see, put her. And hopefully she'll grow some more over the growing season. And I might give her another chop and try to see if I can fit her in the soil. And I mean, she's looking fuller already, honestly. And let's see, where else? Where I want to put you at? Because you're beautiful. Okay, you got variegation. Maybe I should, stick you right here in between the variegated leaves for contrast. Because it has very light variegation. You probably can't even see it, like right here. Anywho, stick this baby. I try to be mindful to water her when at least an inch of the soil is dry, because I do not want this baby to dry out, and that seems to be working for me. So far, easy care. She's about a foot, maybe I say 2 feet away from one of my Sansi lights. She's loving the light, which is probably why she's such a fast grower. I don't know if she would be growing for me fast if I had her in a different light situation. What do you think? Shoot, yeah, she looks better already. Look at that. Oh, go ahead. She going down that runway aisle. Look at that. Gorgeous. Okay, let me bring y'all back up. Okay, so yeah. So this was the last one that I really wanted to do. I'm so glad I got that potted up. The coffee plant potted up. Matter of fact, you guys, I'm just gonna let me see if I can put a clip in somewhere over here so y'all can see where she's hanging out at, and hopefully you can see her. She's looking good, and this is looking good and full now. So she's really gonna take off, and like I said before, y'all saw where it's about to do some new growth right here. So she's already beautiful. Now she's about to get sexy. So I'm super excited. Can't wait to see that. Thanks for coming along, you guys, while I did some of my chores. I hope you did some chores too. Let me know what you did. Did you clean leaves? Did you prune your plants? Did you have to repot? I'm curious. I would love to know. So this pretty much ends this video, you guys. Keep in mind, if you love foliage as much as I do, and you love listening to planty things, definitely subscribe if you haven't. Push those thumbs up. Push them up. And that helps get my channel out there to all these beautiful plant people. Enjoy your day wherever you are in the world. And until next time, guys, much love. See you later.